Edward Slingerland, Drunk, How We Sipped, Danced, and Stumbled Our Way to Civilization. Embark on a thought-provoking journey through the history of human intoxication with Edward Slingerland's book, Drunk, How We Sipped, Danced, and Stumbled Our Way to Civilization. Explore the surprisingly rich and complex relationship that we have had with alcohol throughout our evolution as a species. Unearth the controversial theories of hijacks and hangovers that attempt to explain our penchant for alcohol, and uncover the reasons why these theories may not hold water. Immerse yourself in the enlightening discussion about the unique survival challenges faced by humans, which have eventually led us to rely on culture, creativity, and community, and learn how our fondness for intoxication offers us a key to accessing these vital traits.
Hijacks and hangovers. Our penchant for alcohol is likely an evolutionary accident, falling under two categories: hijacks and hangovers. Hijacks are behaviors that produce rewards intended for other, more beneficial actions. For example, masturbation yields pleasure without the procreation necessary for species survival. Hangovers are behaviors driven by once useful adaptations that no longer serve their original purpose. Our love for sugary, fatty junk food stems from the pleasure our ancestors gained upon finding sustenance. Although these behaviors may have once benefited us, they have remained due to our ability to manipulate them for personal gain or because they simply no longer fulfill their intended purpose. Understanding whether our fondness for intoxication is a hijack, hangover, or better explained by another theory is essential to determine our relationship with and potential consequences of alcohol consumption. Debunking drunken theories. Edward Slingerland counters two prevalent theories explaining human attraction to alcohol, the hijack and hangover theories. Instead of viewing alcohol consumption as an unintended consequence of evolution, Slingerland suggests it serves a purpose. By examining these theories and their flaws, the author invites readers to explore the complex relationship between humans and alcohol. Have you ever wondered why we get drunk? Edward Slingerland challenges the popular assumptions of it being a mere accident, a part of human nature that we can't shake off. Delving into the hijack and hangover theories, Slingerland presents a thought-provoking perspective on alcohol consumption's role in human history. The hijack theory argues that alcohol manipulates our brain's natural reward system. We're drawn to alcohol because it triggers the release of brain chemicals meant for rewarding us for beneficial actions, such as consuming a nourishing meal or having sex. At first glance, the hijack theory might seem plausible, but it has a glaring flaw. Masturbation, a similar activity that triggers rewards for bypassing the intended beneficial action, procreation, is relatively harmless. In contrast, drinking can be dangerous for people's health. Why would evolution allow us to continue drinking, despite its hazards? While it's true that evolution moves slower compared to human advancement, we have consumed alcohol for tens of thousands of years. A few generations were sufficient for adult pastoralists to develop a tolerance for milk, so, why not eliminate alcohol as well? This leads us to question the hijack theory's credibility further. The hangover theory, on the other hand, centers around the idea that humans developed a taste for alcohol because it indicated ripe fruits' presence, which were high in calories. This so-called drunken monkey theory might seem strong until we look at primatologists' and human ecologists' observations of wild primates actively avoiding overripe fruit. Additionally, humans generally prefer ethanol-free fruits, hence, this theory also has significant drawbacks. As we debunk both the hijack and hangover theories, it becomes apparent that our penchant for alcohol might not be as simple as a hijack or a mere side effect. With this recognition, we have an opportunity to explore our complex relationship with alcohol and why it continues to captivate and intoxicate us, leading to further scientific and cultural investigation of this seemingly unshakable habit. The power of tipsy togetherness. Humans, unlike most animals, seek solutions through the collective insights of our culture rather than as individuals. By embracing our communal nature and unique ecological niche, we can unlock our potential for creativity and collaboration. Alcohol has played a significant role in helping humans access their emotional, community-oriented side, while overcoming distrust and selfish instincts. As the only species that intentionally consumes alcohol to reach a state of intoxication, we must ask ourselves what potential benefits might justify the costs associated with this unusual behavior. The answer lies in examining the unique ecological niche that humans occupy and the survival challenges we have faced throughout our evolutionary history. Our ecological niche, essentially our place in the world relative to other species, is centered around culture. This includes everything from food and shelter acquisition to our interactions with animals and fellow humans. Culture has allowed us to develop countless technologies that made us more advanced and efficient. In turn, we have become increasingly dependent on these cultural innovations for our survival. One such example is the transformative discovery of fire. By learning to cook food, our ancestors redirected physiological resources from large teeth, powerful jaws, and complex digestive systems toward a powerful tool, the brain. Over time, this allowed us to become smarter at the expense of our dependency on fire and, ultimately, countless other cultural technologies like agriculture, refrigeration, and computers. This progression didn't occur suddenly. As small groups of hunter-gatherers gradually formed larger agricultural societies, we had to learn how to cooperate and work together. To adapt to these new demands, our species embraced creativity, community, and culture, the 3 C's that help us navigate our complex human world. Our reliance on the 3 C's is a hallmark of our uniqueness among animal species. Unlike most animals, which tend to solve problems individually, humans rely on the wisdom and experience of our collective culture. In the primate world, our remarkable ability to trust and work together to achieve shared goals, much like ants or bees, is an astonishing feat. We adhere to social norms, collaborate, and even sacrifice our lives for the well-being of our community. That doesn't mean we've entirely shed our self-interested instincts. As humans, we're constantly on guard against manipulation and deceit, and we approach others with a healthy dose of suspicion. Despite this, our desire to connect with others is a driving force in our lives, an inherent contradiction we must confront. So how can we overcome our selfish tendencies and tap into our generous, emotional, and community-minded nature? You probably guessed it, alcohol. In the following sections, we'll explore how alcohol has played a significant role in helping us build trust, foster collaboration, and cement our position as the resourceful, creative, and communal species we are today. Embracing the Dionysian mind. The prefrontal cortex, PFC, sets us apart with its capacity to process complex information and rational thinking. Despite its role in human development, balancing the logic-driven PFC with our more emotional and cooperative side is crucial. By examining the prisoner's dilemma, we can see how achieving social cooperation requires embracing emotional and charismatic qualities alongside rationale thought. As the adage goes, in vino veritas. Finding the balance between Apollonian rationale and Dionysian emotion is key to unlocking our full capabilities as humans. You may have already come across the concept of the prefrontal cortex, or PFC for short. This extraordinary piece of human anatomy is responsible for rational thought, and it's what sets us apart from other species. It enables us to tackle long-term tasks, process intricate ideas, and carry out abstract reasoning. While it's a fantastic tool, the PFC isn't without its flaws, particularly when it comes to collaboration and creativity. To better understand the PFC's strengths and limitations, we may consider 2 Greek gods, Apollo and Dionysus. Apollo, the god of the sun, typifies order and self-control, representing the PFC. On the other hand, Dionysus, the god of wine, embodies emotion, disorder, and abandon. He is a deity rooted in creativity, community, and culture. Indeed, it is by combining these 2 seemingly opposing aspects that we unlock our full potential as human beings. The famous prisoner's dilemma illustrates the importance and practical application of balancing the Apollonian and Dionysian perspectives. In the scenario, 2 prisoners face cooperating or betraying each other for short to long sentences depending on each other's actions. While the purely rational choice may be to betray the other prisoner, the emotionally driven and collaborative approach might encourage both to remain silent, resulting in shorter sentences. However, the question arises, how do we tap into our emotional, Dionysian side? A practical answer may be to temporarily dampen the rational part of our brains by disrupting the PFC effectively. A popular, albeit potentially crude, example of this is alcohol intoxication. Throughout human history, a core principle has been trust, underpinning the success of our societies. We rely on our instincts to gauge others' reliability by interpreting their facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice. While we have developed an incredible ability to detect deceit, we are equally adept at lying. Dishonest individuals pose a significant threat to communities, and the challenge remains in identifying and minimizing this risk. Alcohol, as a mild PFC disabling agent, has been used in ancient and medieval societies during gatherings, often to reduce potential hostility and increase social cooperation. A more contemporary example would be Fijian village councils that only start sessions after consuming kava, a mild inebriant. By collectively putting their PFCs on hold, groups can foster a greater sense of trust and move beyond superficial suspicions, emphasizing the Latin proverb, in vino veritas, in wine there is truth. It is important to recognize that exclusively operating from either the Apollonian or Dionysian mindset is insufficient. Achieving a harmonious balance between rational thought and emotional intelligence within ourselves and society is vital to our growth as individuals and a species. By embracing both aspects, we can navigate the complexities of our world more effectively, strengthening our bonds and unlocking our complete human potential. Unleashing creativity through intoxication. Alcohol, one of the most popular intoxicants, has the power to disable our prefrontal cortex, PFC, releasing our inhibitions and allowing our minds to wander into more creative realms. Its biphasic nature makes it distinctive from other intoxicants and enables it to foster human connections, community building, and cultural innovation. Drinking, while tapping into our inner child, might just be the key to unlocking creativity in driving progress as a species. Alcohol reigns as the undisputed champion of intoxicants for its simplicity and accessibility. It complements meals, is easily produced and stored, and offers relatively quick detox. Unlike substances such as cannabis, which may induce introspection, alcohol fosters extroversion and group engagement. Its biphasic effects first create a mild euphoria before shutting down our prefrontal cortex to eliminate fear, negative emotions, and abstract consequences. This process helps us embrace our emotional side, a cornerstone for forming connections and building communities. The temporary departure from everyday rational thinking and self-centeredness that alcohol induces is a conduit for cultural advancements. This stems from our ability to detach from our logical, Apollonian mindset and tap into the emotional and instinctual aspects of being human. Not only does this enhance relationships, but it also provokes playfulness and creativity. Children embody these same characteristics of openness, trust, and creativity due to underdeveloped PFCs, making them our ultimate muse. The PFC is the last portion of the brain to mature, a deliberate design choice for humans who rely heavily on creativity for survival. This drawn-out maturation process enables children to absorb cultural traits and information crucial for adulthood while maintaining cognitive flexibility. While the immature PFC of children diminishes rationality and efficiency, it allows for unhindered, out-of-the-box thinking that fuels human evolution. Studies have even demonstrated that adults perform better on creative tasks when their PFC is temporarily suppressed using transcranial magnets. Though these are a recent development and may lack practicality, the underlying concept underscores the influence of the PFC on creativity. Turning to intoxicants like alcohol to temporarily disable our prefrontal cortex fosters creative and innovative thinking with a childlike mindset. By striking a balance between disciplined focus and lighthearted play, we can access the perfect combination of qualities to empower cultural growth. So, maybe it's time to raise a glass to the ideal human, who, in moderation, gets a little tipsy to unleash their creative potential.
In conclusion, Slingerland's Drunk, How We Sipped, Danced, and Stumbled Our Way to Civilization dives deep into the fascinating world of alcohol and its impact on human history and culture. Discrediting the hijack and hangover theories, the book demonstrates how our propensity for intoxication goes beyond mere evolutionary accidents, unlocking the hidden potential of our creativity, community, and cultural sides. Embracing both our Apollonian and Dionysian selves, it is evident that alcohol has been indispensable to humanity's growth and innovation. So, raise your glasses to the age-old tradition of getting drunk, which has been an essential part of what has molded us into who we are today.